Admiral Catherine Morrison stood at the large window of the research station Meridian. She watched the empty space around them, but she knew something amazing was about to happen. The stars looked the same as always, but today would change everything for humanity. Dr. Benjamin Wright walked up beside her. His hands shook a little as he held his tablet. He had been working on this project for 5 years. Many people said it was impossible, but Benjamin never gave up. "Admiral, we are ready to begin the test," Benjamin said. His voice was quiet, but excited. Catherine nodded. She had seen many experiments in her 30 years of military service, but this one was different. This one could change the war between humans and the rest of the galaxy. "Are you sure about the safety measures?" Catherine asked. "Yes, Admiral. We have checked everything 3 times. The dark matter containment field is stable. The energy readings are normal. We are ready." Catherine looked around the control room. 20 scientists worked at their computers. They all looked nervous but excited. For thousands of years, every species in the galaxy had tried to control dark matter. Everyone failed. The aliens said it was impossible. But humans always found new ways to solve problems. "Begin the experiment," Catherine ordered. Dr. Sarah Collins started the sequence from her control station. She was Benjamin's partner and the best engineer on the team. The machines began to hum. Energy flowed through the cables and pipes around the station. "Dark matter collection is starting," Sarah called out. "Energy levels are rising slowly." Benjamin watched his screens carefully. For months, they had been trying to catch dark matter, particles. Dark matter was everywhere in space, but no one could touch it or control it. It was like trying to hold water with your bare hands. But Benjamin had a new idea. Instead of trying to force dark matter to behave like normal matter, he worked with its strange properties. He treated it like a friend, not an enemy. "Collection is successful," Benjamin announced. "We have stable dark matter in the containment field." The room became very quiet. Everyone stopped what they were doing. On the main screen, they could see something that should not exist. A small ball of dark matter floated in the middle of a special chamber. It looked like black glass that bent the light around it. "Now for the real test," Benjamin said. He pressed several buttons on his control panel. "Attempting manipulation of dark matter structure." Catherine held her breath. This was the moment that would prove if humans were different from other species in the galaxy. The dark matter began to change shape. It stretched and twisted like liquid metal. Then it formed into a perfect cube. The scientists gasped. Benjamin smiled for the first time in months. "It's working," Sarah whispered. "We can actually control it." Benjamin pressed more buttons. The dark matter cube became a sphere, then a pyramid, then a long rod. Each change happened exactly as Benjamin commanded. "Admiral," Benjamin said, turning to Catherine, "we cannot only collect dark matter. We can shape it into anything we want. We can make it solid or let it pass through objects. We can use it for power, for shields, for weapons." Catherine understood what this meant. The aliens had better ships and more soldiers than humans, but now humans had something the aliens could never get. They had mastered the one thing that all the smart alien scientists said was impossible. "How did you do it?" Catherine asked. "The other species tried to make dark matter act like normal matter," Benjamin explained. "But dark matter follows different rules. We learned to work with those rules instead of fighting them. We found that dark matter responds to quantum fields in ways that normal matter does not." Dr. Collins added more information. "We also discovered that dark matter has memory. It remembers the shapes and patterns we give it. Once we program it, it stays that way until we change it again. Catherine watched the dark matter change shapes on the screen. She thought about what this could mean for humanity. They could build ships that no alien weapon could destroy. They could travel faster than any alien vessel. They could protect Earth and all human colonies. But she also knew that the aliens would be afraid when they found out. Fear made people do dangerous things. "Benjamin, how quickly can we build larger versions of this technology?" Catherine asked. "With enough resources, we could have working prototypes in 6 months. Full production could start in a year." "Start immediately. Use any resources you need. Contact Dr. Kane on Titan Station and Dr. Parker on Mars Base. They need to begin their own projects right away." Benjamin nodded and began sending messages to the other research teams. Catherine walked back to the window. In the distance, she could see a few of the alien monitoring stations. They were always watching human space, looking for any signs of new technology. Soon they would detect the energy readings from this experiment. She knew that within days, alien ships would come to investigate. They would want to know what humans were doing. When they found out, they would probably try to stop it. Catherine thought about her daughter on Earth and her son serving on a patrol ship near Alpha Centauri. She thought about all the human families living in the colonies. They depended on her to keep them safe. "Admiral," Sarah called out, "we're detecting some unusual readings from the alien monitoring stations. They seem to be scanning us more actively than usual." "They know something is different," Catherine said. "How long before they figure out what we're doing?" Benjamin looked at his data. "Based on the energy we're putting out, their sensors should detect clear signs of dark matter manipulation within 48 hours. Catherine made her decision. "Send a coded message to Earth Command. Tell them we have achieved breakthrough status on Project Shadow. Request immediate authorization to begin mass production." She paused and looked at the dark matter still floating in the containment field. "Also tell them that we probably have about 1 week before the aliens come asking questions, and they won't like the answers we give them." Benjamin and Sarah exchanged worried looks. They knew that their discovery would start a new chapter in human history, but they also knew it might start the biggest war the galaxy had ever seen. Catherine watched the stars and waited for Earth's response. Soon, everything would change. Captain Lucas Anderson sat in the command chair of the exploration vessel Aurora. His ship was 3 days into a routine patrol near the Kepler system when his sensors officer called out a warning. "Captain, we have multiple contacts approaching. Configuration matches Zephyrian patrol fleet," Lucas frowned. "The Zephyrians rarely came this far into neutral space. Their blue-skinned warriors usually stayed closer to their own territory. Something had brought them here on purpose." "How many ships?" Lucas asked. 5 vessels, Captain. 1 heavy cruiser, and 4 escort fighters. They're moving fast and heading straight for us." Lucas had been a ship captain for 8 years. He knew the difference between a normal patrol and a hunting party. This looked like a hunting party. "Open communications," Lucas ordered. The main screen flickered to life. A tall Zephyrian appeared on screen. His blue skin had darker blue markings that showed his high rank. Lucas recognized him from intelligence reports. "I am High Commander Vextar of the Zephyrian Empire," the alien said. His voice was deep and threatening. "You will stop your ship immediately and prepare to be boarded." Lucas kept his voice calm and steady. "This is Captain Anderson of the Earth vessel Aurora. We are in neutral space conducting lawful operations. You have no authority here." Vexatar's yellow eyes narrowed. "Human, your species has been conducting dangerous experiments with forces you do not understand. By order of the Galactic Council, you will cease these activities immediately. Lucas felt his heart beat faster. The aliens knew about the dark matter research. Someone had been talking, or their sensors were better than humans thought. I don't know what experiments you're talking about, Lucas lied. We're just exploring this system for mineral deposits. Do not insult my intelligence, Vextar snarled. Our sensors have detected massive dark matter disturbances from your research stations. You are playing with forces that could destroy entire star systems. Lucas glanced at his science officer, Lieutenant Commander Rachel Torres. She was Admiral Morrison's niece and one of the smartest people he knew. Rachel shook her head slightly, telling him that their own sensors showed no Zephyrian scanning of their ship. Commander Vextar, even if we were conducting such research, that would be our right as a free species. The Galactic Council has no authority over human scientific advancement. Vexatar stood up from his command chair. Lucas could see other Zephyrian officers behind him, all wearing combat armor. The Council has the authority to prevent any species from threatening galactic security. Dark matter manipulation is forbidden because it is impossible to control safely. You will shut down your experiments and surrender your research data, or we will shut them down for you. Lucas felt anger building in his chest. The aliens always thought they knew better than humans. They treated humanity like children who needed to be watched and controlled. My government will not accept threats from any alien power, Lucas said firmly. If you want to discuss this matter, you can contact our diplomatic corps through proper channels. Vextar laughed, but it was not a friendly sound. Diplomacy is for equals, human. You are not our equals. You are a young species that has learned to play with fire. We are here to take away the matches before you burn down the galaxy. The Zephyrian commander made a gesture with his hand. Lucas's tactical officer immediately called out a warning. Captain, the Zephyrian ships are powering weapons and moving to attack positions. Lucas had hoped this would stay a conversation, but the aliens had made their choice. Red alert! All hands to battle stations! Raise shields and charge weapons! The Aurora's crew moved quickly to their combat positions. Lucas had trained them well. But he knew his single ship could not fight 5 Zephyrian vessels and win. The aliens had better weapons and stronger shields. Captain, his engineer called from the back of the bridge. The new defensive systems are online and ready. Lucas smiled. The engineer was talking about the dark matter shields that had been installed just 2 weeks ago. The Aurora was one of only 3 human ships that had the new technology. It had never been tested in real combat. Activate dark matter defense grid, Lucas ordered. Rachel worked at her console. Dark matter shields are active, Captain. All systems show green. On the main screen, Vextar looked surprised. His officers were pointing at their sensor readings and talking quickly in their own language. What is this? Vextar demanded. Our sensors show impossible readings from your ship. Just some new defensive improvements, Lucas said casually. Nothing that should concern you. Vextar's face became angry. You will lower your shields and surrender immediately, or we will destroy you. I'm afraid I can't do that, Lucas replied. The Zephyrian commander shouted something in his own language. Immediately, all 5 alien ships fired their weapons at the Aurora. Bright blue energy beams struck the human ship. Normally, such an attack would have destroyed the Aurora's shields in seconds, but the dark matter defense grid absorbed the energy, like it was nothing. The ship did not even shake. Lucas watched the tactical display. The Zephyrian weapons were hitting his ship, but causing 0 damage. It was like trying to hurt a mountain by throwing rocks at it. Impossible, Vextar whispered. On the screen, Lucas could see panic in the alien's yellow eyes. Our weapons have no effect. What kind of shields are these? The kind you can't break, Lucas said. Now I suggest you withdraw your ships before this situation gets worse. Vextar tried several more attacks. Missiles, energy weapons, even gravity bombs. Nothing could penetrate the dark matter shields. The Aurora sat in space, completely unharmed, while 5 of the galaxy's most advanced warships threw everything they had at it. "This is not possible," Vexitar said, his voice shaking. "No species has ever developed shields like this. Our weapons can destroy entire cities." "Maybe you need better weapons," Lucas suggested. Rachel looked at her sensors and whispered to Lucas, "Captain, their ships are showing signs of power failure. They've been firing at maximum output for 10 minutes. Their reactors are overheating." Lucas could see it too. The Zephyrian ships were backing away from the Aurora. Smoke was coming from some of their weapon ports. They had used up most of their energy trying to break through shields they could not even understand. "Vextar," Lucas said. "You came here to stop us from doing something you said was impossible, but we've already done it. And this is just the beginning." The Zephyrian commander stared at Lucas for a long moment. Fear and confusion showed on his blue face. This changes everything," Vextar said quietly. "Yes, it does," Lucas agreed. "You should probably report back to your council. Tell them that humanity is not going to stop our research, and tell them that their weapons cannot stop us from continuing it." Vexitar cut the communication link. Within minutes, all 5 Zephyrian ships had jumped to hyperspace, fleeing the system as fast as their damaged engines could carry them. Lucas sat back in his command chair. His hands were shaking a little, but he felt proud. The Aurora had faced down 5 enemy ships and won without firing a single shot. "Rachel, send a message to Earth Command. Tell them that the Zephyrians know about our dark matter research, and they're not happy about it." "Should I mention that their weapons can't hurt us?" Rachel asked. Lucas thought about it. "Yes, but also tell them that next time, the aliens will probably bring bigger guns." The Great Chamber on Nexus Prime had not seen such an urgent meeting in over 200 years. Representatives from 12 major species sat around the massive circular table, their voices creating a mix of different languages and sounds that filled the enormous room. High Counselor Thisara stood at the center podium. Her tall, elegant form commanded attention from all the assembled delegates. The Eldari were known as the wisest species in the galaxy, and Thisara had led the Galactic Council for 50 years. "Fellow representatives," she began, her melodic voice carrying clearly through the chamber. "We have gathered here because of disturbing reports from the human territories. High Commander Vextar of the Zephyrian Empire has presented evidence that requires immediate attention." Vextar rose from his seat. The blue-skinned warrior still looked shaken from his encounter with the human ship. His usual confident manner was gone, replaced by something that looked almost like fear. "Honored Council," Vextar said. 3 days ago, my patrol encountered a human vessel in the Kepler system. When we attempted to board their ship to investigate illegal research activities, they activated defensive systems unlike anything we have ever seen. Counselor Graphic of the Crethani hegemony leaned forward. The reptilian warrior's scales glowed with aggressive orange colors. "What do you mean, unlike anything you have seen? Your ships carry the most advanced weapons in the galaxy." Vextar's shoulders slumped. "Our weapons had no effect, none at all. We fired everything we had at their ship for 10 minutes. Energy beams, missiles, gravity bombs. The human vessel was not even scratched." Murmurs of disbelief rippled through the chamber. Counselor Zilthara of the Mantis Collective clicked her mandibles in a pattern that showed confusion. "This is not possible. No known materials can resist Zephyrian weapons. That is what I thought, Vextar replied. But our sensor readings confirmed it. The humans have developed some kind of shield technology that our science cannot explain. Thyssera activated a holographic display above the table. It showed energy readings and sensor data from the encounter. The assembled counselors studied the information with growing alarm. According to this data, Thyssera said, the human ship was using controlled dark matter for defensive purposes. This should be impossible. Dr. Kethmore of the Sindari spoke up. The small, gray-skinned scientist was considered one of the smartest beings in the galaxy. Honored counselor, for over 10,000 years, every species has attempted to harness dark matter. All have failed. The energy requirements alone should make such technology impossible to build. Yet the evidence is before us, Thyssera replied. The humans have achieved what we believed could not be done. Counselor Grathek slammed his clawed hand on the table. If this is true, then the humans have upset the balance of power in the galaxy. They must be stopped before they become too dangerous. Stopped how? Asked Counselor Variana of the Celestial Federation. The crystal-based being's voice rang like musical chimes. If their shields can resist Zephyrian weapons, what makes you think we can break them? Before anyone could answer, the chamber doors opened. A small group of humans entered, led by a woman in a formal diplomatic uniform. The alien counselors fell silent as the humans approached the center of the chamber. Honored Council, the human woman said, I am Dr. Rebecca Torres, recently appointed as Humanities Ambassador to the Galactic Council. I understand you have questions about our recent scientific achievements. Thyssera studied the human carefully. Rebecca was much smaller than most of the alien representatives, but she carried herself with confidence that suggested she was not intimidated by the situation. Dr. Torres, Thyssera said, we have received reports that your species has developed dark matter manipulation technology. Is this accurate? Rebecca smiled. It is. After many years of research, human scientists have successfully learned to harness dark matter for practical applications. The chamber erupted in noise as representatives from different species began, talking at once. Some sounded angry, others frightened, and a few seemed curious. Grathek stood up, his scales now glowing bright red with rage. This is an act of aggression against the entire galaxy. Dark matter manipulation threatens the stability of space itself. Rebecca remained calm. With respect, Counselor Grathek, our research has been conducted with extreme care. We have extensive safety protocols and have detected no negative effects on local space. You do not understand the forces you are dealing with, Dr. Kethmore said. Dark matter interactions could cause chain reactions that might tear apart entire star systems. Dr. Kethmore, Rebecca replied, I have read your research papers on dark matter theory. With respect, your models are based on the assumption that dark matter cannot be controlled. Our practical experience proves that assumption is wrong. She activated a small device on her wrist. A holographic display appeared showing detailed technical specifications and test results. As you can see, Rebecca continued, we have successfully contained and manipulated dark matter for over 6 months. Our safety records show 0 incidents and 0 environmental damage. Thyssera examined the human data carefully. Her ancient eyes widened as she understood what she was seeing. This is remarkable, Thyssera whispered. Your approach to dark matter physics is completely different from our theoretical models. You treat it as a tool rather than a force to be avoided. Exactly, Rebecca said. We discovered that dark matter responds to quantum manipulation in ways that normal matter does not. By working with its natural properties instead of fighting them, we can achieve stable control. Vextar pointed at the display. Stable or not, this technology gives humanity an unfair advantage over all other species. They could build weapons that no one else can match. Rebecca turned to face the Zephyrian commander. Hi, Commander. When your ships attacked one of our vessels, you were attempting to stop scientific research through military force. We defended ourselves. That is our right. Your rights do not include threatening the security of the entire galaxy, Grathex snarled. And your security does not give you the right to control human scientific progress, Rebecca shot back. The chamber fell silent. The alien representatives realized they were facing something completely new. For thousands of years, they had been the advanced species teaching and controlling younger races. Now one of those younger races had surpassed them in a fundamental way. Counselor Thisara spoke carefully. Dr. Torres, the Galactic Council has maintained peace for millennia by ensuring that no single species becomes too powerful. Your dark matter technology could upset that balance. Rebecca looked around the chamber at all the alien faces staring at her. She saw fear, anger, and confusion, but she also saw something else, the realization that humanity was no longer the junior species in galactic politics. Honored Counselor, Rebecca said, humanity has always been willing to work with other species for mutual benefit. We are not seeking to dominate the galaxy, but we will not be told to abandon scientific research because it makes others uncomfortable. Dr. Kethmore leaned forward. What exactly are your intentions with this technology? To explore new frontiers, defend our people, and continue pushing the boundaries of what is possible, Rebecca answered. The same things that drove every species in this chamber to reach for the stars. Grathex's scales glowed even brighter. Pretty words, but this technology could be turned into weapons that could destroy us all. Rebecca met his gaze steadily. Counselor, every species here has weapons that could destroy entire worlds. The question is not what weapons we have, but what we choose to do with them. Thisara raised her hand for silence. The chamber became quiet as the ancient leader considered the situation. Dr. Torres, Thisara said finally, the Council will need time to discuss this matter. We request that humanity temporarily suspend its dark matter research while we determine how to proceed. Rebecca shook her head. I'm sorry, honored Counselor, but that is not possible. Humanity will not halt our scientific advancement based on the fears of others. We have broken no laws and threatened no one. The silence that followed was heavy with tension. Every being in the chamber understood that they had reached a critical moment in galactic history. The emergency session of the Galactic Council lasted 18 hours. Behind closed doors, representatives argued, threatened, and bargained, while Dr. Rebecca Torres waited in a nearby chamber. She could hear raised voices through the thick walls, but could not understand the words. When the doors finally opened, High Counselor Thisara emerged looking tired and troubled. Behind her came the other representatives, their faces showing the strain of difficult decisions. Dr. Torres, Thisara said, the Council has reached a decision. Rebecca stood and faced the assembled aliens. She had expected this moment, but still felt nervous about what was coming. Counselor Grathex stepped forward. His reptilian features were set in hard lines, and his scales glowed with the orange color of controlled anger. By majority vote of the Galactic Council, Grathek announced. Humanity is hereby ordered to immediately cease all dark matter research and experimentation. You have 72 standard hours to shut down all related facilities and surrender your research data to Council authorities. Rebecca felt her heart sink but kept her expression neutral. And if we refuse? General Zarthok of the Krathani military stepped beside Grathek. The massive warrior's armor gleamed under the chamber lights. Then the combined fleets of the Council will enforce this order by whatever means necessary. You're threatening war? Rebecca asked. We are preventing one, Thesara said sadly. Dr. Torres, please understand our position. In the wrong hands, dark matter technology could destroy entire civilizations. We cannot allow such power to exist without proper oversight. Rebecca looked around at the alien faces surrounding her. Some showed regret, others determination, but all showed fear of what humanity had accomplished. I will relay your ultimatum to my government, Rebecca said, but I already know what their answer will be. Grathek's scales flashed brighter. Then you know that you are choosing conflict over cooperation. No, Rebecca replied firmly. We are choosing freedom over submission. 3 hours later, Rebecca stood in the communication chamber of the human embassy on Nexus Prime. The quantum transmission system allowed her to speak directly with Earth's leadership despite the vast distance. President Marcus Thompson appeared. On the main screen, his weathered face showed the stress of leading humanity through its most dangerous period in history. Behind him, Rebecca could see other government officials and military leaders. Rebecca, President Thompson said, we've received your report about the Council's ultimatum. How much time do we have? 69 hours now, Mr. President. They seem very serious about the deadline. What's your assessment of their military capabilities? Rebecca consulted her notes. According to intelligence reports, the Council can assemble approximately 3,000 warships within 1 week. The largest fleet would be Krathani and Zephyrian vessels, supported by smaller contingents from the other member species. General Patricia Hawkins leaned into view on the screen. Her uniform was crisp, despite the early morning hour on Earth. That's a massive force. Even with our new defensive capabilities, we would be seriously outnumbered. Numbers aren't everything, came another voice. Admiral Morrison stepped into the communication link from her location at Meridian Station. General, have you seen the latest test results from the Titan shipyards? I have. But are we really ready to risk everything on untested technology, President? Thompson raised his hand for quiet. Before we discuss military options, I want to make something clear. This ultimatum is unacceptable. No alien government will dictate what humanity can or cannot research. Rebecca felt a surge of pride at her president's words. Sir, the Council seems genuinely terrified of our dark matter capabilities. Councilor Thesara mentioned several times that such technology could upset the balance of galactic power. Maybe it's time that balance was upset, said Dr. Elizabeth Kane, appearing on a split screen from her laboratory on Titan. Mr. President, we've been treated as junior partners in galactic affairs for too long. The aliens have kept us in a subordinate position while they control advanced technology and trade routes. Secretary of Defense Robert Martinez joined the conversation. Dr. Kane raises a valid point. The Council has never treated humanity as equals. They see us as children who need to be managed and controlled. President Thompson nodded slowly. What's our current military readiness, General Hawkins? The dark matter defense grid is operational on 27 ships, including all our newest destroyers and cruisers. The Titan shipyards have completed 3 prototype warships with full dark matter weapon systems. Dr. Kane estimates we could have 50 fully equipped vessels within 6 months. 6 months, the president repeated. But they're giving us 72 hours. Commander Nathan Pierce spoke from his position at the Titan facility. Mr. President, we don't need 6 months to show the Council that we won't be intimidated. 3 of our new warships could handle anything they send against us. Admiral Morrison looked skeptical. Commander, that's a bold claim. Are you certain the new weapon systems will work as designed? Admiral, yesterday we tested the dark matter cannons against a decommissioned battleship hull. The target was completely disintegrated at the molecular level. Nothing was left but scattered atoms. Dr. Kane added more technical details. The dark matter manipulation allows us to destabilize the nuclear forces holding matter together. It's not just a more powerful weapon, it's a completely different category of weapon. President Thompson listened to all the reports, then sat back in his chair. Rebecca could see him weighing the enormous decision before him. Mr. President, Rebecca said, there's something else you should know. During the council session, I got the impression that not all species support this ultimatum. The Celestial Federation and the Sindari seemed reluctant to threaten military action. Political divisions in the council could work to our advantage, Secretary Martinez observed. If we show strength, some species might break away from the coalition. General Hawkins looked concerned. Or it could unite them against us if they see us as a threat to galactic stability. President Thompson made his decision. Rebecca, send a formal response to the Galactic Council. Tell them that humanity rejects their ultimatum completely. We will not surrender our research. We will not shut down our facilities, and we will not accept alien oversight of human scientific progress. Mr. President, Rebecca asked, what about the military threat? Tell them that humanity is prepared to defend itself against any aggression. Make it clear that we consider their ultimatum to be an act of war. Rebecca felt her pulse quicken. Sir, that's essentially a declaration that we're willing to fight the entire galaxy. No, President, Thompson corrected. It's a declaration that we won't be bullied by anyone no matter how many ships they have. Admiral Morrison leaned forward. Mr. President, I should point out that we've never actually tested our technology against a full-scale fleet attack. We're essentially betting everything on theoretical capabilities. Admiral, the President replied, humanity has always bet on our ability to innovate and adapt. It's gotten us this far. Dr. Kane spoke up again. Mr. President, there's one more factor to consider. Our dark matter technology is advancing rapidly. Every day, we discover new applications and capabilities. If we submit to the Council's demands now, we lose all of that potential. Commander Pierce nodded agreement. Sir, we're on the verge of breakthroughs that could revolutionize space travel, energy production, and manufacturing. Giving up now would set humanity back centuries. President Thompson stood up, his decision final. Then it's settled. Rebecca, transmit our response immediately. General Hawkins, put all military forces on high alert. Admiral Morrison, coordinate with Dr. Kane to accelerate production of dark matter-equipped vessels. What about civilian populations? Secretary Martinez asked. Begin quiet preparations for possible evacuation of frontier colonies, but don't cause panic. Most of the fighting will probably happen in space, away from populated areas. Rebecca prepared to end the transmission. Mr. President, the Council will probably respond with immediate military action once they receive our rejection. President Thompson's expression was grim but determined. Then we'd better make sure we're ready for them. Humanity has never backed down from a fight when our freedom was at stake. We're not going to start now. The transmission ended, leaving Rebecca alone in the embassy communication chamber. In a few hours, she would deliver humanity's response to the Galactic Council. She knew it would probably start the largest war in galactic history. But she also knew that some things were worth fighting for. Admiral Patricia Hawkins stood on the bridge of the massive space station orbiting Titan. Through the reinforced windows, she could see the shipyards where humanity's most advanced vessels were being built. Today, those ships would face their first real test. "Admiral," called Commander Nathan Pierce from the communications station, "we're receiving the final go-ahead from Earth Command. Operation Freedom is authorized to begin." Patricia nodded. She had been waiting for this moment. Since the Galactic Council's ultimatum expired 6 hours ago, the alien fleets were already moving toward human space, but they had no idea what was waiting for them. "Signal all ships to begin final preparations," Patricia ordered, "and patch me through to Captain Mitchell on the Leviathan." The main screen flickered to life, showing the bridge of humanity's newest and most powerful warship. Captain Ryan Mitchell appeared, his young face serious but confident. "Admiral," Ryan said, "the Leviathan is ready for deployment. All dark matter systems are online and functioning perfectly." Patricia studied the tactical display beside Ryan's image. The Leviathan was unlike any ship ever built. Its hull was embedded with dark matter conduits that allowed it to manipulate space itself. Traditional armor was unnecessary when the ship could phase through enemy attacks. "Captain, you understand the importance of this mission?" Patricia said. "The Council's advance fleet will reach the outer colonies within 12 hours. We need to show them that humanity cannot be intimidated." "Understood, Admiral. My crew is ready." Dr. Elizabeth Kane joined the conversation from her laboratory deep within the station. "Captain Mitchell, I want to review the dark matter weapon protocols one more time. These systems have never been used in actual combat." Ryan nodded. "Dr. Kane, we've run hundreds of simulations. The crew knows the procedures." "The simulations can't account for every variable," Elizabeth replied. "Remember, you're not just firing energy beams. You're manipulating the fundamental forces that hold matter together. If something goes wrong, the effects could be unpredictable." Admiral Hawkins understood Elizabeth's concerns, but they were past the point of caution. "Dr. Kane, we've tested the technology as much as time allows. Now we have to trust our people to use it effectively." Captain Jennifer Brooks appeared on another communication channel from her position aboard the destroyer Phantom. Her ship was one of the smaller vessels equipped with dark matter technology, but no less deadly. "Admiral," Jennifer said, "my squadron is in position near the jump point. We'll be the first to engage the enemy fleet when they arrive." Patricia looked at the tactical overview showing all human forces. Compared to the massive alien fleet approaching them, humanity's ships looked pitifully small in number. But she knew that numbers would not determine the outcome of this battle. "All captains, listen carefully," Patricia announced on the fleet-wide channel. "Today, we're not just defending our colonies, we're defending humanity's right to determine its own future. The aliens think they can force us to give up our scientific achievements. They're about to learn how wrong they are," Commander Pierce called out from his station. "Admiral, we're detecting hyperspace signatures. The Council fleet is beginning to arrive at the edge of the system." Patricia turned to the main tactical display. Red symbols began appearing as alien ships dropped out of hyperspace. First dozens, then hundreds, then over 1,000 enemy vessels formed into attack formations. "How many ships?" Patricia asked. "Final count shows 1,400. Alien vessels," Pierce reported. "Mix of Crithani heavy cruisers, Zephyrian battle groups, and support ships from 6 other species. Even Patricia felt a moment of doubt looking at those numbers. The alien fleet was massive, representing the combined military might of half the galaxy. Against them, humanity had 53 ships. Captain Mitchell's voice came over the communications. System. Admiral, the enemy fleet is moving into the system. They're broadcasting a surrender demand. Let me hear it, Patricia ordered. High Commander Vextar's image appeared on the main screen. The Zephyrian leader looked confident and threatening. Human forces, Vextar announced. You are outnumbered 25-1. Surrender immediately, and we will show mercy. Continue to resist, and we will destroy every human ship and installation in this system. Patricia activated her own transmission system. High Commander, this is Admiral Hawkins of the Earth Defense Fleet. Your threats do not impress us. You have entered human space without permission and with hostile intent. Leave now or face the consequences. Vextar laughed on the screen. Admiral, I have seen your defensive capabilities, but shields cannot help you when you are overwhelmed by superior numbers. You have one chance to avoid unnecessary bloodshed. High Commander, Patricia replied, you're about to discover that humanity has capabilities you haven't seen yet. She cut the transmission and turned to her tactical officer. Signal all ships. Begin Operation Freedom. Across the fleet, human captains received their final orders. The Leviathan and 2 other prototype warships began moving toward the alien fleet. Their approach looked like suicide. 3 ships charging toward over 1,000 enemies. But as they moved, something impossible began to happen. The Leviathan seemed to flicker and become translucent. Enemy sensor readings became confused as the ship's dark matter systems bent space around it. To alien observers, the human vessel appeared to be in 3 different locations at once. Captain Mitchell activated the ship's primary weapon. Dark matter conduits throughout the hull began channeling energy toward the main cannon. The weapon that emerged was not a beam of light or particles, but a distortion in space itself. The dark matter cannon fired, and reality seemed to bend around its target. A Krathani heavy cruiser simply ceased to exist. One moment it was there, the next moment there was empty space where the ship had been. No explosion, no debris, no energy signature. The alien vessel had been unmade at the quantum level. Impossible, Vextar whispered on the still-open communication channel. Captain Brooks led her squadron of smaller ships in a flanking attack. The destroyers moved like ghosts through space, phasing in and out of normal reality. When they fired, their weapons, alien ships disappeared one by one. The Council fleet tried to respond, but their weapons passed harmlessly through the human ships. The dark matter phasing technology made the human vessels untouchable when they chose to be. Dr. Kane watched the battle from her laboratory, monitoring the dark matter systems on all human ships. The technology was performing beyond even her optimistic projections. Admiral, she called out, all dark matter systems are stable. The phasing drives are working perfectly, and the quantum weapons are exceeding expected power levels. Admiral Hawkins watched the tactical display as red enemy symbols disappeared one by one. The alien fleet's formation was breaking apart as panic spread through their ranks. Signal Captain Davis on the Wraith, Patricia ordered. Tell him to demonstrate the gravitational manipulation system. Captain Derek Davis received the order and smiled grimly. His ship carried experimental weapons that used dark matter to control gravity itself. He targeted a group of Zephyrian fighters and activated the gravity cannon. Space around the alien ships began to twist and compress. The enemy vessels were crushed by artificial gravity fields that pulled them apart at the molecular level. In seconds, 20 ships were reduced to component atoms. High Commander Vextar's voice came over the communication system again, but now it shook with fear.
"What are these weapons? How are you doing this?"
Captain Mitchell answered while his ship destroyed another enemy cruiser.
"High Commander, you wanted to see human scientific advancement. This is what progress looks like when you don't limit yourselves to what others think is possible." The alien fleet began to retreat, but the human ships followed. Captain Brooks and her squadron used dark matter conduits to appear directly in front of the fleeing enemy vessels. There was no escape from weapons that could bend space and manipulate time. Admiral Hawkins watched as the most powerful military force in the galaxy fell apart before her eyes. Ships that had terrorized dozens of worlds were being destroyed by human vessels they couldn't even properly target.
"Admiral," Commander Pierce reported, "enemy fleet cohesion is collapsing. Multiple ships are attempting to retreat to hyperspace."
"Let some of them go," Patricia ordered. "We want survivors to report back to the Council. They need to understand what they're facing."
Dr. Kane monitored the battle's progress with professional interest.
"Admiral, the dark matter systems are performing flawlessly. We're not even approaching maximum output on any of the weapons."
Patricia nodded.
The battle was proving that humanity's new technology was not just effective, but overwhelmingly superior to anything the aliens possessed.
Captain Mitchell's voice came over the communication system.
"Admiral, the remaining enemy ships are requesting permission to withdraw."
"Should we grant it?"
Patricia considered the question. She could destroy the entire Council fleet, but that might turn all of galactic civilization against humanity. "Grant their request, Captain, but make sure they understand that this was just a demonstration. If they come back, we'll be ready for them." As the surviving alien ships fled the system, Admiral Hawkins realized that humanity had just changed the balance of power in the galaxy forever. Admiral Catherine Morrison stood on the command bridge of the Harbinger, watching the largest military fleet in galactic history emerge from hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system. The alien armada stretched across space like a metallic storm. "Cloud, over 4,000 ships representing every major species in the galaxy." "Admiral," called Lieutenant Commander Rachel Torres from her sensor station. "Final count shows 4,200 enemy vessels. They've brought everything they have." Catherine studied the tactical display with calm eyes. She had been preparing for this moment since the first reports of dark matter breakthrough reached her desk. Today would determine whether humanity remained free or became slaves to alien overlords. "Signal all ships," Catherine ordered. "Execute Battle Plan Omega. Let's show them what humans do when someone threatens our home." Captain Jennifer Brooks received the signal aboard her flagship Valkyrie, leading a squadron of 20 dark matter interceptors. Her ships were positioned between Earth and the approaching alien fleet, a thin line of defense against overwhelming numbers. "All pilots," Jennifer announced on the squadron channel, "remember your training. Stay in phase shift mode until you're ready to strike. Hit them fast, hit them hard, and don't give them time to adapt." The alien fleet moved forward in perfect formation. General Zarthok commanded from his massive dreadnought at the center of the armada. The Krathani warrior had convinced the Galactic Council that humanity posed an existential threat to all other species. "Attention, human defenders," Zarthok broadcast on all frequencies. "You are facing the combined might of 12 species. Surrender now, and your homeworld will be spared. Continue to resist, and Earth will be reduced to ash." President Marcus Thompson responded from Earth's orbital defense platform. "General Zarthok, humanity has never surrendered to bullies, and we're not starting today. If you want our world, you'll have to come and take it." Zarthok's reptilian features twisted with anger. "Very well, all ships begin the attack. Show these primitives the price of defying the galactic order. The alien fleet opened fire as one. Thousands of energy beams, missiles, and gravity weapons streaked toward the human positions. It was enough firepower to destroy entire star systems. But the human ships simply weren't there when the weapons arrived. Captain Brooks led her squadron through a series of phase shifts that made them untouchable. The interceptors appeared behind enemy lines, struck with dark matter weapons, and vanished before return fire could find them. Commander Ashley Rodriguez piloted her ship dragon through the alien formation like a ghost. Her dark matter cannons unmade enemy vessels with each shot, turning massive warships into expanding clouds of free atoms. "This is impossible," Zarthok snarled, as his tactical display showed ship after ship disappearing. "How are they moving through our formation without being detected?" His science officer, a nervous Sindari named Keth Vel, studied the sensor readings with confusion. "General, their ships seem to exist in multiple dimensional states simultaneously. Our weapons cannot lock onto targets that are partially phased out of normal space." Captain Derek Sullivan commanded the destroyer Phantom, using dark matter conduits to appear directly inside enemy shield barriers. His ship would materialize within the protection of alien capital ships, fire point-blank shots at critical systems, then phase away before the enemy could respond. Admiral Morrison watched the battle from her command position, coordinating the movements of 50 human ships against an enemy force 80 times larger. But numbers meant nothing when the enemy couldn't hit what they couldn't see. "Signal Captain Davis," Catherine ordered. "Tell him to demonstrate the new gravitational weapons." Captain Ryan Davis received the order aboard his ship Graviton. He had been waiting for this moment to test humanity's most devastating weapon system. The gravitational manipulator could create artificial black holes and control the fundamental forces of space itself. Davis targeted a cluster of Zephyrian heavy cruisers and activated the gravity cannon. Space around the enemy ships began to warp and twist. The alien vessels were caught in an artificial gravity well that compressed them beyond the breaking point of matter. "By the ancient gods," whispered High Commander Vextar as he watched 20 of his best ships crushed into a single point of super-dense matter. "They're controlling gravity itself." Commander Nathan Pierce led a strike force of 6 ships against the alien command center. His vessels used dark matter phase technology to bypass the dreadnought's shields entirely, appearing directly on the enemy bridge. "General Zarthok," Pierce announced as his ship materialized inside the alien flagship. "You wanted to see human capabilities. How do you like our boarding techniques?" The Krathani general stared in shock as human ships occupied the same space as his command center without causing any physical collision. The dark matter phasing allowed both vessels to exist in the same location while remaining in separate dimensional states. Pierce fired his weapons at point-blank range, but instead of destroying the enemy ship, he targeted only the weapon systems and engines. The alien dreadnought was crippled but intact, its crew alive but helpless. Across the battlefield, human ships appeared and disappeared like phantoms. Each attack was precise and devastating. Alien vessels simply ceased to exist when struck by dark matter weapons, their atoms scattered across light years of space. Dr. Elizabeth Kane monitored the battle from her laboratory on Mars. The dark matter systems were performing beyond all expectations, allowing human ships to fight like beings from a higher dimension. "Admiral Morrison," Elizabeth reported, "all dark matter systems are stable. Power output is at only 60% of maximum capacity. We could increase weapon effectiveness if needed." Catherine shook her head. "We're already winning overwhelmingly. No need to show them everything we can do. Captain Jennifer Brooks led her interceptors in a flanking maneuver that brought them behind the main alien battle line. Her ships appeared simultaneously around 50 enemy vessels, each one targeting a different target. All ships, fire, Jennifer ordered. 50 alien ships vanished in the same instant, their matter converted back to basic energy by dark matter weapons. The coordinated strike broke the back of the enemy formation. General Zarthok watched his mighty fleet fall apart around him. Ships that had conquered dozens of worlds were being destroyed by enemies they couldn't even hit. His tactical officers reported massive casualties and complete system failures. "General," his communications officer called out, "we're receiving surrender requests from multiple ship captains. Morale is collapsing across the fleet." Zarthok's pride warred with his survival instinct. He had never retreated from any battle in his long military career, but he had also never faced weapons that seemed to violate the laws of physics. High Commander Vextar's voice came over the command channel. "General, my remaining ships cannot continue this engagement. We're taking casualties at a rate of 50 ships per minute with no effective response capability." Captain Davis decided to end the battle with one final demonstration. He targeted the center of the alien formation and activated the gravity cannon at maximum power. A miniature black hole formed in the middle of the enemy fleet, its gravitational pull dragging in everything within 100,000 kilometers. The artificial singularity lasted only seconds before Davis collapsed it safely, but the demonstration was clear. If humanity chose to do so, they could create weapons that would consume entire fleets in moments. "Enough," Zarthok said quietly. Then louder, "All ships, cease fire and begin retreat to hyperspace. We cannot win this battle." Admiral Morrison opened communications to the alien commander. "General Zarthok, you came here to force humanity into submission. How did that work out for you?" The Krathani general's voice was bitter with defeat. "Your technology is beyond our understanding. We cannot fight enemies who exist outside the normal laws of space." "Remember this moment," Catherine said. "Remember that humanity tried to solve this peacefully. You chose war. We chose to defend ourselves. Take what's left of your fleet and go home." As the surviving alien ships fled the Sol system, President Thompson broadcast a message that reached every world in the galaxy. "Today, the forces of the Galactic Council came to Earth demanding our surrender. They brought the largest fleet in galactic history to force humanity into submission. That fleet has been defeated by human ingenuity and the refusal to bow to alien tyranny." He paused, letting his words sink in across thousands of worlds. "Let this be a lesson to anyone who thinks they can dictate terms to humanity. We are no longer the junior species in galactic affairs. We have taken our place as equals among the stars, and we will defend that position against any threat." Admiral Morrison watched the last enemy ships disappear into hyperspace. The Battle of Sol was over, and humanity had won the most complete victory in military history. But she knew this was just the beginning of a new era in galactic politics. High Counselor Thesera stood in the emergency session chamber on Nexus Prime, her elegant features showing the strain of the worst crisis in galactic history. Around her, the surviving representatives of the Galactic Council argued in dozens of languages, their voices creating a chaotic symphony of fear and anger. "Order!" Thesera called out, her melodic voice cutting through the noise. "We must maintain some semblance of civilization even in these dark times." General Zarthok sat at the military briefing table, his scales dulled with exhaustion and defeat. The proud Krathani warrior looked like he had aged decades in the 3 days since the Battle of Sol. "Honored Council," Zarthok said slowly, "my fleet has returned from human space. Of the 4,200 ships we sent, only 800 survived. We lost over 3,000 vessels without inflicting significant damage on a single human ship." Counselor Grathek slammed his clawed hand on the table. "This is impossible! No species in galactic history has achieved such technological superiority. There must be some explanation." Dr. Kethmore of the Sindari activated a holographic display showing battle recordings. "I have analyzed the sensor data from the engagement. The human ships appear to operate outside the normal laws of physics. They can phase in and out of regular space, manipulate gravitational fields, and use weapons that dissolve matter at the quantum level." High Commander Vextar spoke from his position near the viewing screen. His blue skin looked pale, and his usual confidence was completely gone. "Honored Council, I have fought the humans twice now. Their technology is not just advanced, it's fundamentally different from anything we understand. They treat space and time like tools to be manipulated." Counselor Verana of the Celestial Federation chimed in with her musical voice. "If their capabilities are so superior, why haven't they conquered the galaxy already? What are their intentions?" "Unknown," Zarthok replied. "After defeating our fleet, they simply let us retreat. They could have pursued and destroyed every surviving ship, but they chose not to." Meanwhile, across the galaxy, Captain Daniel Foster piloted the dark matter destroyer Phantom through hyperspace, leading a small human task force on a mission that would demonstrate humanity's new reach. "Captain," called his navigator, "we're approaching the Krathani border worlds. 3 enemy naval bases detected in this system." Daniel studied the tactical display. The Krathani had built these bases to project power across their territory. Today, those bases would learn that distance no longer protected them from human response. "Signal the fleet," Daniel ordered. "Execute Operation Long Reach. Show them that nowhere in the galaxy is beyond our capabilities." The human ships dropped out of hyperspace directly above the first Krathani naval base. The alien defenders barely had time to register the attack before dark matter weapons began dismantling their installations. Unlike the massive fleet battles, this was a precision strike. The human ships targeted only military facilities, leaving civilian areas untouched. Within minutes, the base was completely destroyed. Its defenders either fled or surrendered. The second and third bases fell just as quickly. Captain Foster's task force demonstrated that humanity could strike anywhere in the galaxy within hours of making the decision. Back on Nexus Prime, Dr. Samuel Parker materialized in the council chamber through a personal dark matter transport device. The human scientist's sudden appearance in the middle of the supposedly secure facility sent panic through the alien representatives. "Greetings, honored council," Dr. Parker said calmly as alien guards rushed toward him with weapons drawn. "Please don't be alarmed. I'm here to deliver a message from the human government." The guards stopped when their weapons passed harmlessly through the human scientist. Dr. Parker was using dark matter phasing technology to remain untouchable while still being visible and audible. Thisara raised her hand to stop the guards. "Dr. Parker, I presume, your dramatic entrance makes a point about human capabilities. What is your message?" "The message is simple," Dr. Parker replied. "Humanity offers peace to any species willing to accept us as equals. We have no interest in conquering the galaxy or destroying other civilizations. But we will not tolerate any further attempts to control or threaten human development." Counselor Grathek snarled with rage. "You destroyed our fleets and attack our bases, then speak of peace?" Counselor, Dr. Parker said patiently, your fleets attacked human space and threatened our homeworld. Our response was proportional self-defense. As for the base attacks, those were demonstrations of our ability to respond to threats anywhere in the galaxy. Dr. Kethmore leaned forward with scientific curiosity. How are you here? Our security system should have detected any ship approaching the station. Dr. Parker smiled. I didn't use a ship, Doctor. Dark matter conduits allow instantaneous travel between any 2 points in the galaxy. I could theoretically be on 10,000 worlds simultaneously if I chose to be. The implications of this statement sent waves of shock through the assembled representatives. If humans could appear anywhere instantly, traditional concepts of borders and defense became meaningless. Hi, Commander Vextar spoke up. What exactly are humanity's terms for this peace you offer? Simple, Dr. Parker replied. Recognize humanity as a sovereign power with the right to pursue scientific advancement without interference. Establish normal diplomatic and trade relations. Stop treating us like children who need alien supervision. Counselor Varana asked the question that many were thinking. And if we refuse? Dr. Parker's expression became serious. Then humanity will act in its own interests without considering galactic opinion. We prefer cooperation, but we don't require it. General Zarthok stood up slowly. Dr. Parker, your species has achieved technological supremacy. Why offer peace instead of simply imposing your will? Because conquest requires constant force to maintain, Dr. Parker answered. Cooperation creates lasting stability. Humanity has learned that it's better to have partners than subjects. Thasara considered the human's words carefully. As the eldest member of the council, she had seen many wars and their aftermath. She understood that some defeats were so complete that further resistance was pointless. Dr. Parker, she said, what guarantees do we have that humanity won't use its technological advantage to dominate other species in the future? The same guarantee any species has, Dr. Parker replied. Our actions over time will prove our intentions. But consider this. If we wanted to conquer the galaxy, we could have done so already. Instead, we're here talking about peaceful coexistence. Captain Foster's task force struck 2 more alien military installations while the council debated. Each attack was swift, precise, and followed by immediate withdrawal. The message was clear. Humanity could hit any target, anywhere, at any time. Counselor Thasara, Dr. Parker said, I'm going to return to human space now. The council has 72 hours to decide whether you want peace or continued conflict. Choose wisely. The human scientist activated his transport device and vanished from the chamber, leaving the alien representatives to contemplate their impossible situation. Thasara looked around at her fellow counselors. Fear, anger, and confusion showed on every face. But she also saw something else. The beginning of acceptance that the old galactic order was dead. Fellow representatives, she said, we face a choice between adaptation and extinction. The humans have demonstrated capabilities that make military resistance futile. We can either work with them or watch our civilizations become irrelevant. Grathek's scales glowed with frustrated rage. You're suggesting we surrender to these upstart primitives? I'm suggesting we face reality, Thasara replied calmly. The humans are no longer primitives. They have become the dominant military power in the galaxy. We can either accept that fact and work with them, or continue fighting. A war we cannot win. Dr. Kethmore studied his data tablets. The technological gap is too large to close quickly. Even if we combined all our resources, it would take centuries to develop equivalent capabilities. High Commander Vextar nodded agreement. And they're still advancing. Every engagement shows new capabilities we hadn't seen before. The gap will only grow wider. Thisara called for a formal vote. All those in favor of accepting human peace terms and establishing normal diplomatic relations. One by one, the councilors raised their hands. Even Grothek eventually voted in favor, his pride overcome by practical necessity. The motion passes, Thisara announced. The Galactic Council accepts humanity as a sovereign power and agrees to establish peaceful relations. Across the galaxy, the news spread quickly. Humanity had won not just military victory, but political recognition as equals among the stars. The age of alien dominance was over, and a new era was about to begin. 6 months after the Battle of Sol, Dr. Rebecca Torres walked through the corridors of the newly constructed Terran Embassy on Nexus Prime. The building was a masterpiece of human and alien architectural cooperation, its flowing lines incorporating design elements from a dozen different species. Today marked the official founding of the Terran Alliance, a new galactic confederation that would replace the old council system. Rebecca had been chosen as the first ambassador of interspecies relations, a position that made her one of the most powerful diplomatic figures in the galaxy. Ambassador Torres called Captain Lucas Anderson as he approached from the communications center. The explorer who had first faced Zephyrian aggression was now serving as military liaison to the new alliance. We've received confirmation from the Sindari Federation. They're formally requesting membership in the Terran Alliance. Rebecca smiled as she reviewed the application on her tablet. That makes 8 species who have joined us in the past month. It seems word is spreading about the benefits of cooperation over domination. The Terran Alliance offered something the old Galactic Council never had: voluntary membership with genuine equality. Species could join to gain access to human technology and protection, but they kept their sovereignty and cultural independence. President Marcus Thompson appeared on the embassy's main communication screen, broadcasting from the new alliance, headquarters on Luna. His face showed the satisfaction of a leader who had guided his people through their greatest crisis. My fellow beings, President Thompson addressed the galaxy. Today we establish a new model for interstellar civilization. The Terran Alliance is built on principles of mutual respect, scientific advancement, and voluntary cooperation. He paused, to let translators convert his words into dozens of alien languages. For too long, galactic politics has been dominated by fear and control. Strong species intimidated weaker ones, and technological advancement was restricted by those who feared change. The Alliance offers a different path forward. On the planet Zephyria Prime, High Commander Vextar watched the broadcast from his retirement home. The former military leader had stepped down after the defeat at Sol, spending his remaining years writing memoirs about the war that changed everything. The humans were right, Vextar said to his aide. We spent so much time maintaining our superiority that we forgot the purpose of civilization was to advance all species, not just the dominant ones. Dr. Elizabeth Kane stood in her expanded laboratory on Titan, surrounded by alien scientists from 6 different species. The dark matter research program had become a truly galactic effort, with the brightest minds in known space working together to unlock new possibilities. Dr. Kane, said her Sindari colleague Zilmora, the latest test results show that dark matter conduits can maintain stable connections across entire galactic superclusters. we could potentially establish instantaneous communication with other galaxies. Elizabeth nodded excitedly. The implications are staggering. If we can communicate with other galaxies, we might discover civilizations that have developed entirely different approaches to science and technology. The Alliance's commitment to open scientific research was attracting volunteers from across known space. Species that had hoarded knowledge for millennia were now sharing their discoveries freely, accelerating advancement at an unprecedented rate. Commander Victoria Hayes stood on the bridge of the Alliance starship Unity, leading humanity's first joint exploration mission to the galaxy's outer rim. Her crew included officers from 7 different species, all working together to map unexplored regions of space. "Commander," called her Celestial Federation navigator, "we're detecting artificial structures in the next system. They appear to be abandoned. But the technology readings are unlike anything in our databases." Victoria studied the sensor readings with interest. The Alliance had already discovered 3 lost civilizations during their exploration missions, each one providing new insights into galactic history. "Set course for the structures," Victoria ordered. "Let's see what secrets this system has to offer." The Unity was equipped with the latest dark matter technology, allowing it to reach regions of space that had been unreachable to previous exploration efforts. Ancient civilizations that had hidden themselves in remote corners of the galaxy were being rediscovered and invited to join the growing alliance. Back on Nexus Prime, High Counselor Thysaara met privately with Rebecca Torres in the embassy's diplomatic suite. The elegant Eldari leader had adapted gracefully to the new political reality, serving as an advisor to the Alliance while maintaining her people's membership in both organizations. "Ambassador Torres," Thysaara said, "I must admit that the Alliance has exceeded my expectations. When humanity first demonstrated dark matter technology, I feared it would lead to tyranny. Instead, you have created the most successful interstellar confederation in recorded history." Rebecca poured tea for both of them, a human custom that had become popular throughout Alliance space. "Counselor, humanity learned early in our history that diversity makes us stronger. When we reached the stars, we wanted to apply that same principle on a galactic scale. The old council made the mistake of believing that unity required uniformity," Thysaara observed. "The Alliance shows that cooperation is possible without forcing everyone to be the same." Captain Daniel Foster piloted his ship through a dark matter conduit, emerging in the Andromeda Galaxy just 24 hours after departing the Milky Way. His mission was to establish contact with the civilizations that human deep space sensors had detected in the neighboring galaxy. "Captain," his communications officer reported, "we're receiving signals from multiple sources. It appears this galaxy has its own version of a galactic confederation." Daniel smiled. "Open a channel and send our standard first contact message. Let them know that representatives from the Milky Way would like to establish diplomatic relations. The expansion of Alliance influence beyond their home galaxy represented the ultimate success of humanity's approach to interstellar relations. By offering partnership instead of domination, they had created a model that could spread across the entire universe." Dr. Samuel Parker materialized on the observation deck of the research station Meridian, where Admiral Catherine Morrison was reviewing the latest military reports. The Admiral had been promoted to Director of Alliance Defense, responsible for protecting over 40 member species. "Admiral," Dr. Parker said, "the latest dark matter research has yielded some interesting possibilities. We may be able to develop defensive systems that can protect entire star systems simultaneously." Catherine studied the technical specifications on her tablet. That would change everything, Sam. If we can create system-wide shields, member species would be completely protected from any external threats. It gets better, Dr. Parker continued. The same technology could be used for terraforming projects. We could transform dead worlds into garden planets in a matter of years instead of centuries. The Alliance's technological capabilities continued to advance at a rapid pace. Each breakthrough opened new possibilities for improving life throughout the galaxy. President Thompson concluded his address to the galaxy with words that would be remembered for generations. The Terran Alliance stands as proof that different species can work together for mutual benefit. We offer our hand in friendship to all civilizations, whether they choose to join us or simply coexist peacefully. The age of fear and domination is over. The age of cooperation and exploration has begun. Captain Lucas Anderson stood on the bridge of the exploration vessel Odyssey, humanity's most advanced ship. His mission was to lead a joint expedition to the edge of known space, searching for new forms of life and intelligence. "All stations report ready, Captain," his first officer announced. The bridge crew included representatives from 12 different species, each contributing their unique expertise to the mission. "Take us out," Lucas ordered. "Let's see what wonders are waiting for us beyond the frontier." The Odyssey activated. Its dark matter drives and disappeared into the cosmic void, carrying the hopes and dreams of dozens of species toward unknown adventures. 6 months after the Battle of Sol, Dr. Rebecca Torres walked through the corridors of the newly constructed Terran embassy on Nexus Prime. The building was a masterpiece of human and alien architectural cooperation, its flowing lines incorporating design elements from a dozen different species. Today marked the official founding of the Terran Alliance, a new galactic confederation that would replace the old council system. Rebecca had been chosen as the first ambassador of interspecies relations, a position that made her one of the most powerful diplomatic figures in the galaxy. "Ambassador Torres," called Captain Lucas Anderson as he approached from the communications center. The explorer who had first faced Zephyrian aggression was now serving as military liaison to the new alliance. "We've received confirmation from the Sindari Federation. They're formally requesting membership in the Terran Alliance." Rebecca smiled as she reviewed the application on her tablet. "That makes 8 species who have joined us in the past month. It seems word is spreading about the benefits of cooperation over domination. The Terran Alliance offered something the old Galactic Council never had: voluntary membership with genuine equality. Species could join to gain access to human technology and protection, but they kept their sovereignty and cultural independence." President Marcus Thompson appeared on the embassy's main communications screen, broadcasting from the new alliance headquarters on Luna. His face showed the satisfaction of a leader who had guided his people through their greatest crisis. "My fellow beings," President Thompson addressed the galaxy, "today we establish a new model for interstellar civilization. The Terran Alliance is built on principles of mutual respect, scientific advancement, and voluntary cooperation." He paused to let translators convert his words into dozens of alien languages. For too long, galactic politics has been dominated by fear and control. Strong species intimidated weaker ones, and technological advancement was restricted by those who feared change. The Alliance offers a different path forward. On the planet Zephyria Prime, High Commander Vextar watched the broadcast from his retirement home. The former military leader had stepped down after the defeat at Sol, spending his remaining years writing memoirs about the war that changed everything. "The humans were right," Vexatar said to his aide. "We spent so much time maintaining our superiority that we forgot the purpose of civilization was to advance all species, not just the dominant ones. Dr. Elizabeth Kane stood in her expanded laboratory on Titan, surrounded by alien scientists from 6 different species. The dark matter research program had become a truly galactic effort, with the brightest minds in known space working together to unlock new possibilities. Dr. Kane, said her Sindari colleague Zilmora, the latest test results show that dark matter conduits can maintain stable connections across entire galactic superclusters. We could potentially establish instantaneous communication with other galaxies. Elizabeth nodded excitedly. The implications are staggering. If we can communicate with other galaxies, we might discover civilizations that have developed entirely different approaches to science and technology. The Alliance's commitment to open scientific research was attracting volunteers from across known space. Species that had hoarded knowledge for millennia were now sharing their discoveries freely, accelerating advancement at an unprecedented rate. Commander Victoria Hayes stood on the bridge of the Alliance starship Unity, leading humanity's first joint exploration mission to the galaxy's outer rim. Her crew included officers from 7 different species, all working together to map unexplored regions of space. Commander, called her Celestial Federation navigator, we're detecting artificial structures in the next system. They appear to be abandoned. But the technology readings are unlike anything in our databases. Victoria studied the sensor readings with interest. The Alliance had already discovered 3 lost civilizations during their exploration missions, each one providing new insights into galactic history. Set course for the structures, Victoria ordered. Let's see what secrets this system has to offer. The Unity was equipped with the latest dark matter technology, allowing it to reach regions of space that had been unreachable to previous exploration efforts. Ancient civilizations that had hidden themselves in remote corners of the galaxy were being rediscovered and invited to join the growing alliance. Back on Nexus Prime, High Counselor Thessara met privately with Rebecca Torres in the embassy's diplomatic suite. The elegant Eldari leader had adapted gracefully to the new political reality, serving as an advisor to the Alliance while maintaining her people's membership in both organizations. Ambassador Torres, Thessara said, I must admit that the Alliance has exceeded my expectations. When humanity first demonstrated dark matter technology, I feared it would lead to tyranny. Instead, you have created the most successful interstellar confederation in recorded history. Rebecca poured tea for both of them, a human custom that had become popular throughout Alliance space. Counselor, humanity learned early in our history that diversity makes us stronger. When we reached the stars, we wanted to apply that same principle on a galactic scale. The old council made the mistake of believing that unity required uniformity, Thessara observed. The Alliance shows that cooperation is possible without forcing everyone to be the same. Captain Daniel Foster piloted his ship through a dark matter conduit, emerging in the Andromeda Galaxy just 24 hours after departing the Milky Way. His mission was to establish contact with the civilizations that human deep space sensors had detected in the neighboring galaxy. Captain, his communications officer reported, we're receiving signals from multiple sources. It appears this galaxy has its own version of a galactic confederation. Daniel smiled. Open a channel and send our standard first contact message. Let them know that representatives from the Milky Way would like to establish diplomatic relations. The expansion of Alliance influence beyond their home galaxy represented the ultimate success of humanity's approach to interstellar relations. By offering partnership instead of domination, they had created a model that could spread across the entire universe. Dr. Samuel Parker materialized on the observation deck of the research station Meridian, where Admiral Catherine Morrison was reviewing the latest military reports. The Admiral had been promoted to Director of Alliance Defense, responsible for protecting over 40 member species. "Admiral," Dr. Parker said, "the latest dark matter research has yielded some interesting possibilities. We may be able to develop defensive systems that can protect entire star systems simultaneously." Catherine studied the technical specifications on her tablet. "That would change everything, Sam. If we can create system-wide shields, member species would be completely protected from any external threats." "It gets better," Dr. Parker continued. "The same technology could be used for terraforming projects. We could transform dead worlds into garden planets in a matter of years instead of centuries." The Alliance's technological capabilities continued to advance at a rapid pace. Each breakthrough opened new possibilities for improving life throughout the galaxy. President Thompson concluded his address to the galaxy with words that would be remembered for generations. "The Terran Alliance stands as proof that different species can work together for mutual benefit. We offer our hand in friendship to all civilizations, whether they choose to join us or simply coexist peacefully. The age of fear and domination is over. The age of cooperation and exploration has begun." Captain Lucas Anderson stood on the bridge of the exploration vessel Odyssey, humanity's most advanced ship. His mission was to lead a joint expedition to the edge of known space, searching for new forms of life and intelligence. "All stations report ready, Captain," his first officer announced. The bridge crew included representatives from 12 different species, each contributing their unique expertise to the mission. "Take us out," Lucas ordered. "Let's see what wonders are waiting for us beyond the frontier." The Odyssey activated. Its dark matter drives and Dissa-A's. Rebecca Torres watched the ship's departure from her office window. She reflected on how much had changed since that first dark matter experiment on Meridian Station. Humanity had not only survived their first contact with galactic civilization, they had transformed it into something better than anyone had imagined possible. The galaxy was no longer a place of fear and competition, but a community of diverse species working together to unlock the mysteries of the universe. And at the center of it all, humanity's gift for innovation and cooperation had created a new golden age of exploration and discovery. The stars themselves seemed brighter somehow, illuminated by the promise of unlimited possibilities that lay ahead for all the children of the galaxy. In the depths of space, dark matter conduits carried ships between distant worlds in the blink of an eye. Ancient barriers of distance and time had fallen before human ingenuity, connecting civilizations across vast reaches of the cosmos. The Galactic Council's age of rigid control was over. The Terran Alliance's era of boundless exploration had begun. And humanity, once considered a primitive species barely worthy of notice, now stood as the architects of a new and peered into the cosmic void, carrying the hopes and dreams of dozens of species toward unknown adventures.